My own buntag from the Philippines, 6:18 in the morning. Been up about an hour. Um, Today's video, hope you like enjoying these things. I don't know, I just whip them off the top of my head. My problem with Starlink, after days of emailing back and forth to the fabulous Elon Musk's team, who are so educated that they are plain stupid. When I asked why they can't take the payment out for my Starlink, was a simple answer, but it took a week of pulling teeth to get to that answer. Finally, in one email, I said, you know what? Put Elon Musk, give him my phone number, tell Elon to call me personally so I can get this done. You know, old Gio, he done lost it, but that's okay. Anyway, finally, I got someone with some intelligence at Elon Musk's call centers or whatever. They won't even give you the 800 number to call. The whole problem is I'm using my American credit cards and bank cards, but yet I live here in the Philippines for Starlink. So you have to have a Philippine bank account to order Starlink. Now, if I'm wrong, please tell me. Money's money, whether it comes from an American bank, whether it comes from a Philippine bank, whether it comes from a Thailand bank, whether it comes from a China bank, a Japan bank, a European bank. Money's money. Isn't that what a credit card? You can use these credit cards around the world. No problem. You can use a Visa, MasterCard, American Express, anything you want around the world. So to order this, I have to set up a Philippine bank. So we're going to do that. Like I said, this is, sorry for I'm kicking on the table. I got you set on the table. But this is a little short video of the idiocy you run into in this world these days. People, throw the books away. Go back to being street smart, because that book smart is just really, I'm dumbfounded. Is that the word? You know, it's like, I remember a time back when I was working construction, building IBP plants up in South Sioux City, Nebraska, up by Sioux City, Iowa. Had a college kid, they come to work for the weekend, for the summer. And needless to say, I was up there, I'm welder millwright. I'm up on a JLG lift, up high, take a measurement. I want to figure out how smart these kids are, you know. And I was bored that day, so me and the guys, we decided we were going to test them. So I got to be the guy to do this. So I asked the guy. I told him, I said, go cut me a piece of angle iron 2x2. I need it 3 foot long. And then he said, 3 foot? I said, yeah, 3 foot. I said, he started walking away. I said, wait a minute. Let me remeasure one more time. I said, I'm supposed to measure twice, cut one. So I put the tape back up again. And I told him, wait. I said, it's 36 inches. He says, okay, not 3 foot, 36 inches. And I said, I knew I had him then. We all know where this is going. So he got around, he was a slow walker anyway, and it would take me an hour to get a piece of steel from this guy. But anyway, so as he's getting walking, he's talking with other people. I yelled down to him, I said, hey, I said, forget the 36, give me a piece 3 foot long. The kid yells up to me, he says, make up your mind, 3 foot or 36 inches. Well, me and the other guy up there, we started laughing. I fired up that JLG, sucked it down, came down. I told the young man, I said, come with me. Took him into my foreman's office, and I said, you got to get me a different guy. He said, why, what's the problem? I said, I was up there, and I said, he's right here. I said, ask him. I said, what was my first measurement? He said, 3 foot. I said, yeah, that's what I told you. And I told you, wait, let me measure again, because the boss don't like me making bad cuts. I said, what's the next measurement I gave you? He said 36 inches. I looked over at the foreman. He already rolled his eyes. He knew where this was going. So I then asked him, I said, wait a minute, I yelled down at you again. I told you 3 foot, and you yelled up at me and told me, make up my mind, 3 foot or 36 inches. Yeah, I did. He said, you're confusing me. You're making it. So my foreman tells the kid, you got a tape measure? Yeah, he had a tape measure, a little brand new 20-foot tape measure. He had his brand new boots on and everything. So he told him, pull open the tape to 3 foot. The kid pulls it open. Please count 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. Gets it open 3 foot. He says, yeah, there's 3 foot. He said, what's the other number below it? He said, 36. I looked at the kid, I said, how stupid are you? You go to college. And I said, you don't understand mathematics or nothing? I said, 3 foot is 36 inches. 2 foot is 24 inches. And I said, do you know how to read a tape measure? Well, no, not really. You're a college student, and you're telling me you can't read a tape measure, but you put into work here on, you thought this was an easy job, you're gonna stand around? The boss looked at me, he says, I got this. He says, go back to work. So we come in off a break, we come in and start work at 6, come in at morning break at 9. Asked the boss, I said, where's the kid? He said, well, when you go back in, he said, go see Hammer's crew. I said, okay, so I went over to see Rick Hammer. I said, where's that kid at? He said, I got him to work right over here. The kid is now on the end of a shovel digging in dirt for the concrete crew since he can't read a tape measure. So he's still got to carry a tape measure. He's still got to wear safety glasses, still got to wear his hard hat and everything because you're on a construction. Steel-toe shoe boots. But for the whole summer, he'll dig dirt. So, book smart. Book smart versus street smart. But yeah, but like I said, that's the deal. I'm sorry I got off the subject. But Starlink, if you order in the Philippines, you must have a Philippine account. If you order it in America, tell them you will be here in the Philippines so they get it right. If not, you're going to have a bunch of problems. But yeah, like I said, it's just book smart versus street smarts. And Elon Musk, you need to get a call center that people can speak to people, live people. This emailing back and forth, stop being a tight ass. You got all this money. Open up a call center. And I don't want to speak to the people in India because I don't want a Slurpee. But like I said, they don't understand and they want to sit and argue. They have no patience. But anyway, short video. You all have a good day. Hit the like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you.